Hi, I'm John, and I'm an employee of El Dorado County. What do you think the unions do with the money they receive from employee dues? Wait to see what happens when Miriam and Erica go into the SEIU local office and ask for transparency within their financial budget.
You will not believe what happened to us when we tried to go to the union to communicate with them and give us our plan, our idea.
We had a meeting scheduled with Ms. Cora Okamura. She is the Secretary-Treasurer of the SEIU Local 1000.
My name is Mariam. I am a state employee and an SEIU member.
I am Erica. I'm a state employee. I'm a fair share fee payer with the unions. And we are Californians, and we both feel your pain. We understand your frustration and resentment against us public employees and the union members. State employees have it really good, and we have the unions to thank for that. But now is the time for the unions to use its strength and reach to help in a whole new way.
But most of all, I pledge to build a California that works for all Californians because I pledge to stand in solidarity with all Local 1000 members as we build a new and different kind of union.
But she didn't say how she's going to build a new California or a new union. We know that SEIU is in an excellent position to watchdog our money, our saving, the state budget, and to find the opportunities to cut waste.
Yeah. The Chief of Council was eventually called into the room with our budget questions. We're not sure which question exactly tickled their funny bone and got them nervous. But needless to say, the Chief of Council was called in, and he came in with a fire under his rear.
No.
Anyway, I'm not gonna say that.
She asked him a few questions and he got upset. I don't know why. And he left the room. He stormed and what other. 2 minutes later, come a lady and she asked Miss Okamura to go out for another meeting. So I said, excuse me, we have a scheduled meeting here. And she said, no, this is very important. She has to go, blah, 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 blah. So we asked her, is that going to take long? No. So I asked her specifically, is she coming back? And then she said, no, just 15 minutes. And Miss Okamura assured us, she said, even if I have to spend my lunch with you, I will spend my lunch with you to answer the question. Fair enough. Miss Okamura leaves the room, doesn't come back. 2 minutes later, now the two big guys come. One of them called himself talent manager of something. They all have manager of something.
The director of talent management.
Okay, something like this. And I even asked him what was that, and I don't think he even could explain it. I don't think he even knew what was that.
After a few stammering responses to what his title was, director of talent management with an SEIU union office, he finally decided he was not there to answer our questions. That was what the meeting was for. He was here to ask us to leave the building immediately.
Yeah. He said, write your questions and leave the building, and we'll mail you your question. I said, but our questions have been written for 2 months now. We've sent them twice, and we're here because you don't answer our question. Give us write your question. Fine. The question were already typed and written. We hand him the question. He said, write your name, address, blah, blah, blah. We do this, and we give him the question, and I take my documents from the table and the two pamphlets that Miss Okamura gave us to us, our copies, and we go to leave the building, and come that blonde lady. I don't know, she was attacking me or was going to hit me, but her hand was reaching just to my chest.
We were leaving the room, and all of a sudden her arm flies out and stops Miriam in the chest, and she grabs her papers like this to hold them.
Yeah, I grabbed my papers.
Yeah.
So I do like this. And I didn't know what was going on, and then the big guy was holding the room, and his arm was like this.
They're blocking us from leaving.
Yeah, but they tell us leave, and then they block us to leave. And he has his hand like this. So I go,
She ducks under his arm and runs out the doorway.
I mean, and then Erica told me they were behind me saying...
And they chased us all the way to the elevator. We get to the elevator, and the lady jumps into the door.
Before the elevator, there was another big guy who came obstruct my going out. He didn't touch me, but he said, you have confidential documents. I told him, no, those documents were given to me by Cora. And they said, you'll have to call the police. And in my heart, I was wishing they called the police.
So Miriam runs down the hallway with her papers, trying to find the elevator. Finally reaches it. I'm behind the group of people chasing after her, screaming that she has confidential information. Miriam jumps into the elevator. The blonde lady jumps into the doorway and stops the elevator from going down and says, "You are
But,
not."
she didn't even ask. If they had asked us, I would have told them and given it to them. Then they asked me. They accused us. They were saying, "You have confidential documents." And I said, "No, those documents were given to us by Cora Okomura." She said, "No, you're not leaving the building before we have those documents." She was accusing. Before we have those documents, I said, "No, they are mine." And then come the two big guys, and I couldn't go anywhere because she was there obstructing the door, and then Erica was in the elevator, and then the two big guys come. One of them, he looked like a bouncer, and they go in the elevator. I was so scared. And then,
So I squeezed past the blonde
Yeah,
lady that's
she came.
obstructing the elevator door and squeeze in there with Miriam, who's
Yeah.
sitting in the corner holding her documents like this. And the two big men rush in behind us, and they're standing there all really big in the elevator, and they say, "We need to see what documents."
he looks at, and that big guy who looked like a bouncer, he looks at me from top to down or down to bottom anyway, and tell me, we have confidential documents in that building. And I said, "But those were given to me." And then finally come another lady, that was...
It was Cora's secretary came over and whispered to the lady holding the door and
I
said,
heard she said,
"The
yeah.
documents were given to them, let them go."
Yeah,
So the blonde lady pulls herself out of the elevator door, but the two big men are still in the elevator with us all the way down.
That was 5 seconds, for like 5 hours.
It felt like a lifetime riding with these big men who were ready to jump any moment to stop us from doing something horrible, like asking questions about the budget.
You're right.
So finally the elevator door opens and eternity has ended, is how our meeting at the SEIU office happened.